Alright, let's talk about section 3.1. It talks about matrices. A matrix is just a number of rows and columns, and there's numbers put in their places. Can be whole numbers, can be fractions, decimals, positive, negative, zero, doesn't matter. Alright, and so you've got columns and you've got rows. Rows go left, right, columns go up, down. Now the order is found by counting how many rows and then how many columns. So this is known as a 3 by 3. You write it that way. This one is a 3 by 4. This one right here is 3 by 4. Okay. There's a couple more vocabulary words you need to know. Entries or elements are these individual numbers, so they're called entry or elements. An element is called by its row and column. So if you want to identify this guy, you'd say A, lowercase a, 2, 3. Lowercase a, 2, comma 3 means row 2, column 3, and that happens to be the number 0. And then A 3 1, third row, first column is negative 2. Third row, first column, so that's negative 2. Alright, a square matrix is just simply a matrix that has the same number of rows as columns. A column matrix is a matrix that only has one column. Just as a row matrix is a matrix that only has one row. The zero matrix is any matrix that's filled with zeros. And two matrices are equal only if every single element matches. They have to match in every single way. Alright, so now if you're trying to add two matrices together, you just simply add the like elements. So first row, first column plus first row, first column equals first row, first column. So 5 plus 4 is 9. First row, second column plus first row, second column equals first row, second column. So 3 plus 2 equals 5. And the same thing, this is 4, and that's 7. So when you're adding or subtracting, you must have the exact same order. The size of each matrix must match identically. So 2 by 2 plus 2 by 2 equals a 2 by 2. 3 by 3 minus 3 by 3 equals a 3 by 3. Okay, so there's some questions where you can't do them because the order doesn't match. You want to watch out for that. So now difference is just the same thing as adding, it's just you're subtracting. So this first row, first column, 1 subtract 1 is 0. And then 0 subtract 2 is negative 2. And then minus 2 subtract 3 is minus 5. 3 subtract minus 1 is positive 4. 2 subtract 0 is 2, and so on. When something is multiplied by a number, it's called scalar multiplication. This number is sometimes called a scalar. S-C-A-L-A-R. Scalar. And it's just multiplying each number by 3. Or by negative 1 or whatever you want to. Alright, and then there's transpose. This is A capital T. T is in the exponent, so to speak, but that indicates that something is a transposed matrix. So if you're adding A plus A transpose, you take A, the original matrix you're given, and A transpose just says the first row becomes the first column. The second row becomes the second column. Third row becomes third column. That's what A transpose is. And now you add them and you get an answer. Alright, so the first one, number 1, it says, how many rows does matrix B have? Well, when you look in the book, you'll see it has 3 rows. Question 4, write the negative of matrix D. And you look at matrix D and you just change the signs of each number inside it. which of these matrices are square, and you're going to find out there's quite a few of them. They're all listed here. 9 says, what's the element A, 2, 3? Well, second row, third column, that's 0. Well, actually, what are they saying? They're saying A is, that's A transpose, sorry. For A, row 2, column 3 is a 1. You'll see it when you look in the book. 11, write the transpose. We already talked about that. 13 says, what's the sum of matrix A and its negative? So the negative of a matrix is just putting a negative in front, and you'll change every sign of the numbers in the matrix. So when you add a known number plus its negative, you're going to get 0 every time, which is the 0 matrix, or Z. 15 says perform the operation. So I want you to be able to do this by hand on a piece of paper and also on your calculator. So how do you type in data on your calculator? Here's how you do it. You hit second matrix, arrow to the right twice, and you choose a letter. Let's choose A, or 1. Now we have to type in what matrix we want here, what size matrix we want. Well, C is a 2 by 2, so type in 2, enter, 2, enter. And now you just type in your 5, enter, 3, enter, 1, enter, 2, enter, one right after another. And now you're done. Now let's do another one. Second matrix, arrow to the right twice, and let's choose number 2. Let's type in what D is. It's a 2 by 2, 2, enter, 2, enter. And now you got 4, enter, 2, enter, 3, enter, 5, enter. And there you go. Your B is we call it the matrix D, or B. Alright? And so, now if you want to do some matrix addition, you say second matrix, and you choose the matrix. Let's choose that one. That was the first one we typed in. Plus, second matrix 2, the second one we typed in. And we should get 9547. And we do exactly. So you can type in any of these guys and do the addition or subtraction or even scalar multiplication very easily. Just type it into your calculator and you can do it. So notice when you call up a matrix that you've already typed in, you just hit second matrix and type the one you want. Now if you want to do data, you got to do second matrix, arrow to the right twice. Type in the choice, type in its size, how many rows and columns, and then type in the data. But if you're actually wanting to do like what's 3 times B, you just hit you do second, well, you do 3, and then second matrix B is number 2. So 3 times B says each number in B is multiplied by 3. That's all it is. Okay, so 31. 31's a little weird, but it's not too hard. They give you a 2 by 3 and a 2 by 3, and they say they're equal, which means every element matches up exactly. Now they want you to figure out what X, Y, Z, and W are. Well, the first one, you know that X has got to equal 2X minus 4. When you solve it, you get X equals 4, so now we know X. Here, 3 and Z, so Z has to equal 3. We know that one. Okay, we don't need to do this one because we already know what X is. Let's try this one, Y and 1. Y equals 1, so we got Y. And now we need W. Well, 4 equals W plus 1. Subtract 1 and you get W equals 3. So there's your, this is the way you write it. X, Y, Z, W is 4, 1, 3, 3. Okay, now 39, they give you 2 matrices, and they ask you to add them together to get the total sales from both, and then they want you to find the change in sales, so you're subtracting them. Okay, so here's where you're adding them, the numbers get bigger. Here's where you're subtracting them, and some of them are actually negative because the change went down. And then 44, a debt payment. They're asking if this company pays 35% of the amount owed on their debt, write the matrix giving the remaining debt. So here's the original debt, and if you pay off 35%, you still owe 65%. 65 times each one will give you the amount of the amount of debt, and I didn't write down the answer here. And then part B says you pay 80% of the debt due in 30 days and increase the debt by 20%. And so the first one is you paid 80, so you still owe 20, and you're increasing the debt by 20% here, so it's 1.20, 120%. And so you multiply each one of these out and you get a new matrix, whatever it is. Same thing here. Just do it on your calculator and you'll be able to get the answer there.